All right, welcome back to the Gup Shup podcast. It's been a while. It's been a minute.
2 months.
2 months. It's been a whole year.
It's been 2 months.
But it was 2024 last time. Now it's 2025. Our topic today. First, we're going to introduce it with our New Year's resolution, which is for me to film more of this podcast.
I think my New Year's resolution is to drink more water.
That's a good one. You definitely.
I kept an aim of 2 liters of water per day.
You increased it. Wow.
What was it before?
You said 1 liter.
Sorry, it was 1 liter.
No. We're keeping it 2
No, it was 1 liter of water per day.
I think you should keep it to 2 liters because isn't 2 liters what you're supposed to drink?
Yes, but baby steps. Baby steps. Better than 0 liters.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about the topic. It's going to be spicy and it's going to be relationships, specifically in the Brown household.
Yeah, we're going to talk about all the taboo stuff. And then also we have a new setup for the podcast. And we have sound effects.
Oh, wrong effect.
That sound effect's going to be used every time I zone out when Bhavya is talking. This will be for all of the fun little jokes we make. We'll leave that one for the next superstition episode.
Yeah.
I don't know where we're going to use that.
It's whenever something happy happens.
Okay, sounds good.
Hopefully we'll be using that a lot.
Okay, so let's start with our first segment. So we're going to start with a game. And this game is kind of where we're going to give each other 5 prompts. And it's like she's a 10 or she's a whatever number, but, or he's a 10 or whatever number, but. So I think Bhavya has the first prompt here.
So he's a 10, but he can't count to 10. So he's dumb.
Yeah, then he's like a 2, I think. For me, he would be a 2. Intelligence is very important, especially in a Brown household.
Oh, yeah.
Imagine having a boyfriend and going to a family event to introduce him. You're like, this is my boyfriend. Yeah, he's a DJ.
DJs can be intelligent.
No, sorry.
Wow.
Actually, I know some DJs and they're smart. No, okay. Let's say, yeah, you take them and they have no, because the first thing I think parents usually ask, or any relative, what are you studying?
Yeah, 100%.
What are you going to be when you grow up? What's your aspirations and goals?
Hopefully when you're introducing a boyfriend, they don't ask what you're going to do when you grow up. Because how young is he?
Yeah, so I think that would be a 2 for me. Okay, so for you now, she's a 10, but she wants to live in a joint family.
That's going to have to be straight to a 1 for me.
Really? Is that like a deal breaker?
I don't know about deal break. Okay, like obviously we can make stuff work if the family's chill, then that's fine. But I'd like to have a bit more. If I'm going to be with someone like in a marriage situation, I'd like to have some independence. It's kind of awkward if you're, trying to be cute and stuff with each other, and then your parents walk in the room. I'm not saying I'm not against it fully, but like I want to have like an indefinite relationship like that.
Imagine living in like a really big house, and it's like your parents, your partner's parents are also there.
Their grandparents.
Their grandparents, your grandparents, your aunts and uncles, your cousins.
The reason I'm scared of that is because in every Indian soap opera,
that's how it starts.
Like that.
Yeah.
And once the families get that big, the drama starts. Once you put brown people in like a contained place, it's drama.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. That's why like my family in Edmonton has no other extended family living here with us.
Gotta be alone.
I agree. Okay. So the next one is yours.
All right. He's a 10, but he doesn't like dogs.
I would say that's like a 5.
Okay.
Like, I like dogs and I want a dog, but like I wouldn't be so like bummed out if I couldn't have one. Plus, actually, no one can tell me I can't have a dog. If you don't like a dog, it sucks for you. Like, whatever. But yeah, like, I think people who have kind souls like dogs. But if you don't like a dog, I don't know, something weird about you. Cats are okay. If they don't like dogs and they like cats instead, then I won't question your soul goodness. But like, yeah, I think dogs are important.
There needs to be an animal.
There needs to be a pet involved. If they like, I hate animals, that's a problem.
Yeah. The reason I say that is because a lot of brown families are kind of against having pets.
Man, that's nonsense. The parents who say they don't want pets and then you get them a pet and then they're going to love their pet more than they love the kids. I've seen so much of that happen. Even in my household, my aunt, she got a dog and she was scared of dogs, I think, before that. And now it's like, she's like, this is the daughter I'd never had.
Promoted a daughter.
Yeah.
We had a dog as well, like a puppy, for a week. Every time the puppy saw my mom, she would pee. The puppy would pee, not my mom. So the puppy was excited to see my mom, but my mom was a bit less excited to see the puppy.
I think if you kept the puppy for a little longer, your mom would have loved her.
I think she did like her.
Mhm.
I just think she didn't like cleaning up the pee afterwards.
That's on you and your brother.
That's fair, yeah.
Okay, so the next one. This is a very controversial one. She's a 10, but she makes double your salary.
I like that, honestly. I think that's a 20.
It's a
If
20.
she's a 10 and she's double salary, bump her up
Ready to be
20.
a trophy husband?
I'm a house husband trophy. No, obviously, like, there's a, when you say trophy husband, it implies that the husband isn't really doing anything.
Yeah.
I think that's wrong. I think everyone should be trying to do their best to, make money, to, make something of themselves. But just because your partner makes more than you, whichever way it goes, it shouldn't affect the feelings you have for them.
Yeah, like, especially in brown households or like brown relationship dynamics, I don't know if it's changed now. So I think in like the dynamics of brown households, some of them, like couples, brown men tend to have ego when their partner makes more money than them. Not all brown men, but a good number of them. So I think that's a pretty like prevalent issue that some women face. And it goes the other way. There's some girls, if you ask me the same question, they'd be like, I need a man, you know who I'm talking about. I need a man who makes like 2 figures more than me.
2 figures is crazy. 100 times more than you?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, I'm like,
there's going to be no money left.
Put that effort in yourself. Okay.
Okay. He's a 10, but he aligns with your dad's side of the family. First, you got to explain that whole dad side, mom side thing.
I think a lot of Indian, so you align with your dad's side of the family a bit, mostly. You're like, I don't know if it's a Punjabi thing or like a all over India thing, but no, actually, it's not even just an Indian thing. Like I have a friend in dental school and she's not Indian. And I was having this conversation with her and she said it's also in her culture. So she's Chinese, where people tend to side more with their mom's side of the family. You know what though? Usually it's like stereotypical, like kids are going to be more towards their mom's side of the family. But I think you really mature and you grow up when you realize the problem is in both sides of the family.
Yeah.
There's no one side of the family that's better than the other. Like we're always like, oh my God, like dad's side of the family, like they're trying to like fight over land and they're trying to steal the dad's money. Like, yeah, we've all been through that. Like I've seen this happen too. Of course, like I'm exaggerating it. But if you think about it, like on the mom's side of the family and dad's side of the family, there's always little issues.
Yeah.
And it's like what you said, like if you put a bunch of brown people together, there's going to be drama. So I think for me, I think that guy would be like an 8. Like he'll go down 2 points, but it depends on maybe their dad's side of the family might be actually good.
Yeah.
So I'd have to see how their dad and their dad's side of the family is. Because who knows, maybe the mom's side of the family and that dynamic is more toxic.
It could be, yeah.
So
it's like politics. Both parties are to blame.
Yeah, I actually saw that on Instagram. It was like, you've matured as a brown child or as a brown person when you realize that the problem is in both sides of the family. And I was reading it and I'm like, that hit hard. That hits hard. And like, if I think about it, like, yeah, like, I mean, of course, like I'm someone's dad's side of the family and they might not like me. And then at the same time, I'm someone's mom's side of the family. Like I'm part of.
How can it be both?
Like cousins, right?
Oh, I'm dumb. Okay. That makes sense.
Were you thinking like siblings?
I was like, how are you somebody's dad's side of the family and mom's side of the family?
No, you can be that.
Yeah.
So like I think about that. Like I have a brother.
Yeah.
And then I was joking about it with you. Or no, maybe not with you, with someone. And I was like, oh my God. When he grows up, well, no, not grows up. If he has a family, like when he has a family, I'm going to be the dad side of the family. That's like crazy. Can you imagine? Like, I can't imagine my brother's future children being like,
we hate our dad's
Anjali
side.
Bua was like, they're talking to their friends and they're like, we have this like aunt, her name is Anjali Bua, and she's trying to steal like money from our father. I'll be like, bro, I ain't trying to do anything like that.
It's just like the name of it.
Yeah. But I know some people are close to their dad's side of the family. I think it just depends.
Mm-hmm.
So what's worse, I think, is when they're like, they think it's the parents who are doing that. Like the mom or the dad are kind of stealing the kids over to their side. Whatever. The end point is both sides have issues.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it my turn?
I have to ask you.
Okay.
Okay. So now she's a 3. So really imagine personality sucks,
Mhm.
right? The looks aren't that great. You know, you kind of wince when you see her, but she can make round rotis.
I don't get what the deal with that is, man. Round rotis mean nothing to me.
You'd be fine if the roti was square, Eiffel Tower.
Eiffel Tower, square, triangle, pyramid. As long as it's made of like, wheat, we're good.
Can you imagine it's anything but wheat?
Because like naan, for example, naan is, if you made naan round, it would taste worse.
You think so? Do you think the shape makes it,
Huge difference.
we were talking about this. It's like, why are samosas triangular? Like, what if samosas were circular? But we had circular samosas, and it was pretty good.
When do we have circular samosas?
The samosa wheels, the restaurant.
Oh, yeah.
That was really good. So, like, the shape really matters. That has to be another topic, like a food topic. But, like,
the shape matter? I think it does 100%.
Yeah.
The only reason those round samosas were good is because we paid a lot for them, and they came with the best chutney ever.
Yeah, that's true. But, okay, I guess for me, if rotis being round is important, right? Like, if I'm eating paranta or roti and it's like, there's specific shapes for roti. Regular roti is round.
Yeah.
But auntie, like when they put like seasoning in it, that's supposed to be square.
Okay.
And then naan is very triangular.
Yeah.
I feel like, or they cut it that way.
Yeah.
So, I guess it doesn't matter to you.
I mean, if she's making round rotis and she's a 3, still a 3.
Still a 3. She doesn't go up.
Not up, not down.
You're like,
doesn't matter to me.
You're like, the look of the roti doesn't matter as much as the look of you.
Wow, no, I wouldn't say that.
Okay, now it's yours.
And by the way, the 3 is personality too. It's not just looks.
Yeah, sorry, personality.
Because if she's making rotis with aggression, that transfers to the flavor.
That's very true.
He's a 3, but your mom loves him. Everyone's seen this kind of in the movies,
Oh man.
Like, hi, this guy's.
I feel like he would go up then. He'd go to like a set. No, a 6.
To say 7?
Yeah, a little too high. I think a 6 because I feel like my mom specifically, or just moms in general, have a really good sense of character.
Mm-hmm.
Like growing up, a lot of friends I've made and friendships that didn't work out, my mom pretty much predicted all of my failed friendships from the start. But that could also mean, who knows, maybe either she has a really good sixth sense, or I get very influenced by her.
Could be.
And her opinion, and I let that affect my judgment of my friends. Yeah. Same way, but I feel like for like relationships, mothers kind of know, they spent like their whole life raising you and being with you. I think they have a better judgment of like who is meant for you. So if they think someone's nice, actually, but then again, my mom really likes. I've had my moments where my mom thought some guys were sweet and they ended up being really creepy, and like I'm like, no, they're not sweet at all.
So you're wrong this time.
I'm like, you're wrong. So I don't know. I'll stick to a 6.
Okay, but it will go up.
It'll go up a little bit.
Okay, that's valid because they know stuff that you don't. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends on specifics. The personality, like the 3, what type of personality you're saying. If it's like ego, I don't know about that, but I don't think my mom would let that slide. So I'm assuming that personality is bad, but not to the point that it's like that bad.
Well, it's to the point where your mom likes him, so.
Oh yeah, my mom has good. If my mom chose out a guy for me, like I've told you this story. Like we're watching like Dance India Dance.
And just pick me up.
And there's this guy, I remember, it was so funny. There's this guy who was dancing on the TV, and like he like takes his shirt off, and he's like a young guy. He got like abs, 8-pack abs and whatever, and full body made. And she literally sat there. I know she meant it as a joke. She was just messing with me. She sat there and she's like, "Gosh, eh mere damad hove." I'm like, bro, why?
All it takes is an 8-pack. All it takes is some crunches.
So I know if I fully left it to my mom to choose a guy for me, she would make sure he looks good.
Yo, she would bring everybody in with the bag over their head and just tell them to lift their shirt up.
Yeah. I can say with experience, I still know like an auntie one time sent a rishta for me to my mom. Like she sent like a picture on WhatsApp. And it was really funny because my mom got so offended, like she was upset with her. And she was like, how could you choose someone like this for my daughter? And then she showed me the picture, and the guy was like, whatever, like it was not like a best looking guy. And my mom was like, you could do way better. And I'm like, I like the hype. I like the hype. I'm like, dang. If she would literally like, I think my mom would go for the looks first and then go down to, and then the next step would be personality.
Well, it's a strategy. It's one strategy. I don't know if it's a good one, but.
So she's a 10. Let me explain this one, okay? I have to give examples. She's a 10, but her love language is gift receiving. Now, I mean, like, for instance, maybe like this girl wants flowers every week. Like she expects flowers every week and expects just gifts many times, right? Like her get love language of her expected love language actually from you is giving gifts to her. That doesn't mean it has to be vice versa. Would that rating change?
It depends on her attitude towards gifts, because if it's purely based on material cost, that's a liability. that's a debit account.
Okay.
The credit account, whatever. I didn't do accounting. But if it's like gifts in the sense of she wants to see you make some effort, then that's reasonable. Like, for example, I think the best gifts are things you can't buy, but you make yourself to a degree. Obviously. But yeah, like even like a nice handmade card. And like the flowers example, I think flowers are pretty good. They're getting expensive now, but if it's like, even if it's like a single rose, right? It's the thought that counts. So it's like
no. Like she wants like those full. Have you seen those like reels or Instagrams where girls like show off their bouquets and they're like these huge just bouquets of roses? Like think that level. I know this because I know this because I just had a conversation with someone recently about gifting roses to like their female. Well, this was more about to their dates, not their long-term girlfriends, but like gifting like those big bouquets. Somebody was talking to me about it, so I want to know your opinion.
I think the second it becomes like a regular thing, it loses its meaning as well. So big bouquets, I'm all for them.
But does it really lose its meaning? What if it's like a matter of tradition? It doesn't lose meaning, but it's kind of like, oh yeah, like this is something that's. But how to explain it, like a tradition between two people?
Okay, it's a lot of gray area here. Yeah. It all depends on the intent behind it and how people feel about it.
So what's your final number?
In the example you gave, where it's like just flowers every week, I think it'd be less. It'd be like an 8.
Really?
Because like the way you're saying it, and she expects it. I don't like the word expect.
Yeah, but like, what if it's like a thing where, let's say you started dating a girl, and when you originally started dating her, of course, to like, what is that word? People are like in the honeymoon phase, and they're trying to impress each other, and they're like filled with the hormones and all that. So the guy is giving, like, let's say you used to have like a tradition where every Saturday you would give her a bouquet of flowers, but then eventually it kind of dies down from your end. So she expects it in the sense that like, this was always our thing, and you're not doing it. Think of it that way.
And if there's a precedent, then that's on me.
What does precedent mean?
It's like if there's a history of it beforehand, if like it's becoming a tradition and you just stopped it for some reason, like if you generally can't afford it, or like you don't think it's like it's, if money's a problem, then you got to be upfront about that. But if you just stop it because you're like, I don't think it's worth it anymore, in terms of like, I don't think you appreciate it, or I don't think I want to do it anymore, then that could be an issue. I'm okay with traditions, but the only reason I went down in score is because of the word expect. If the expect is based on tradition, then maybe that's fine. But like the way you said it made it sound like it was.
Do your parents not have like a tradition?
Well, my mom, every time she gets my dad coffee, she'll write, because she goes to Tim Hortons for a coffee run. Yeah. She'll write "I love you" onto the coffee cup.
That's so cute.
Like something like that makes sense, right? It doesn't always have to be like gifting a gift item. Like
for instance, like for my parents. They don't do it anymore, but my mom used to do a tradition for I've told you, like every anniversary, I think, or birthday, she always would get my dad like a rainbow rose. So those roses that are like multicolor. So yeah, like that kind of tradition.
See, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I think every week is kind of like the reason why every week is a bit long. Like it's a bit too frequent. And like the expectation every week.
You'd be so surprised, especially girls. Okay, maybe not our age right now, but like the younger girls now, in relationships, there's so many people that I've heard of, that I actually know from mutuals that actually expect that. Like they expect roses, like a bouquet of roses every week, and their boyfriends go and give it to them.
it's starting to sound like kind of conceited at that point. Like, I don't know. I'm sure they have the best intentions, but every week and expect. I don't like the word expect, and that's my final say on it.
Okay. Yeah.
Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. He's a 3, but he can really dance.
He's a 20. He's a 20 right there. No hesitation.
You're saying if Michael Jackson came up to you,
I'd marry that guy right away.
both ones,
Both ones? What do you mean?
black and white, like it doesn't matter which one.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson was 3 people at once. Man.
Okay, but he can dance. You know who I would marry? Bruno Mars.
Can he dance?
That guy can sing and dance.
I've never seen him dance that well.
Oh, come on. Have you not seen his like concerts? Like videos of his concerts?
No, actually I haven't.
That's why, like, you know how people say, like, there's like a joke that goes around where it's like boyfriends get so scared to send their girls to a Bruno Mars concert because like he dances so nicely. But no, this is for real. If he can dance, that goes up to 20.
That's a big difference.
You know why? It's like economics. Low supply, high demand. Right now there's a low supply of guys who can dance. So if you see a guy, like one guy out of 100 that can dance, immediately the value of that guy increases. I'm not saying that applies for everyone.
I don't know. It sounds like you're making it pretty clear.
No. But I'm saying for me right now, obviously, like I can appreciate a guy who dances, like as a dancer. But if I was to talk, the girls I know who are single who've asked me in the past for advice, I'd be like, if I knew a guy who can dance, I'm gonna send him right to her.
Okay.
I think it's just an important skill to have. Imagine getting married to the guy. Okay, again, I'm not attacking anyone here.
I don't know.
Imagine getting married to a guy and he can't dance and he does like a weird awkward like shimmy down the dance floor.
But what if the guy can learn how to dance? You know?
No, that's fine. That's fine. You know, like I think like a little bit of dance skills are okay, but I'm talking about like a guy who has 2 left feet, like absolutely can't dance. That's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I showed you this video. Like somebody got married. And they're posting like stories of their wedding highlights, and man, there was this one story, and I'm not trying to hate, but like it was one story, and I think the guy was just drunk, and he was like on a table, and this guy doesn't dance, and he's dancing, and I say this with like air quotes dancing, and I was feeling
secondhand embarrassment.
Yes,
yeah.
It was just a little, I don't know, maybe it's just me because I dance, but I think if somebody like absolutely can't dance, if they learned and they can do a little bit, that's fine. But when somebody like absolutely can't dance, but then they give their 100% and dance, that's a bit much.
If there's alcohol involved, then that's even worse, you know?
Exactly. Because like this, and it was on like Chikani Chameli, the song, I think, or Sheila Giovanni. It was one of those item songs he was dancing to, and I was like, stop. the speed I skipped the story, I was like, I can't watch this anymore.
Okay, but we got your answer. Plus 17 points right there.
But I'm not trying to offend anyone who can dance.
Who can't dance.
Can't. Yeah. I'm not trying to offend anyone. Everyone, you know, ABCD. Anybody can dance. But my point is...
Let's leave it there.
Yeah, I think I'm saying some controversial stuff. Oh, I'm supposed to read this. Sorry. She's a 3, but she can speak Gujarati.
I don't think the language thing matters that much anymore. Back in the day, I was really like, I must speak my mother tongue. And everyone I know must speak my mother tongue.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Because like my parents really drilled that into me. Like, you know, you speak Gujarati at home. And I do. I do speak Gujarati at home. But the more I grow up, I'm like, you know what? It's just a matter of, it takes time to actually practice your Gujarati. And I can't force that on somebody else. I can't force that expectation on somebody else.
So she's still 3.
Maybe you get like 1 point.
Yeah, I was like,
you get 1 or 2
I mean,
points.
like, I understand like having the trait doesn't make much of a difference, but having it would be nice still.
Yeah, I guess
right?
Maybe like 1 or 2 points, like 4 or 5.
Yeah.
But in general, I'm kind of the language. It would be nice to have people speak your mother tongue more often, but the way the world is right now, it takes a lot of resources to actually learn the language.
But it's kind of scary because I feel like the future generations eventually are going to lose the language.
Yeah. That's how languages die.
Yeah. Soon Gujarati is going to be off the planet.
Oh, definitely. That's
not Gujarati, maybe other
Have you seen how many Gujus there are?
Yeah.
We're not.
But a bunch of Gujus in a room that never knew each other, and suddenly they're speaking Gujarati with each other. I've noticed that all the time.
Well, like people at
Like if they don't know each other, like strangers, like, and then they are like, as soon as they find out they're both Gujarati, immediately they start speaking Gujarati with each other.
I mean, there's like a Guju radar. My parents have that. They can just tell when somebody's Gujarati. And they'll be confident. They'll be like, where are you from? And they'll say it in Gujarati.
Oh, I think Gujaratis have their own kind of look.
Hold on.
Wait.
Wait. First I was like, is this a compliment? Describe the look.
Okay. Well, I've never seen like a chubby Gujarati guy. Like a really chubby Gujarati guy. Uncle or young guy, they're always really skinny.
Hey, you're kind of right.
Only time I think they get chubby is when they turn into grandpas. But like I'm saying father level versus son level. Like they're skinny, probably Gujarati. If they're really chubby, Punjabi.
You know, I see that now. Yeah.
Gujarati boys also tend to go through a stage where they wear those really those metal frame glasses that are like narrow and rectangular.
Yeah. I can, everyone you know who I'm thinking about, right?
Yeah.
They all had that.
I'm telling you, there's like a certain look to Gujarati boys. Girls are sometimes a little hard for me to figure out. Mostly Gujarati girls are typically short, and they usually have very straight hair.
Straight hair, yeah.
And they like to keep their hair down.
Okay.
And then, other than that, it's kind of hard. But guys are pretty easy to tell.
I can see it, yeah.
Like every
100%.
Gujarati guy I've ever met, they followed all those two criteria for sure. About height, they tend to be a little shorter, but sometimes they can be tall, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a variety, but I think body size is pretty slim. That's how I can tell if somebody's Gujarati versus Punjabi. Also, Punjabi guys tend to have nicer beards. Gujarati guys, they can have beards, but I don't see it as often. Like you're different because I think you do have a beard. But before I met you, a lot of Gujarati guys I didn't know don't have beards. Like many.
You're right. I don't. Yeah, you're right.
Right? So there is like a look.
There is.
I'm not trying to be racist.
No, the reason that no, you're right. You're right. I'm just flabbergasted because you accurately named the glasses thing.
Oh yeah, 100%. I think my brother, when he was younger, people probably thought he was Gujarati.
Yeah.
He kind of fit that criteria. He did not look like a specific type of Indian. He was probably very confusing.
He was like Indian meshed together, like every type of Indian mesh. He could have been South Indian.
Yeah, like I've had people think I was South Indian.
You are though.
Okay. Punjabi. I've had one time somebody thought I was Gujarati.
Well,
but I don't think it was because of my look. I think it was because of my last name.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
You're kind of like Thanos, just collecting the Infinity Stones. Every year you have a new ethnicity to your look.
Yeah, I'm waiting for people to think I'm like, what else is there?
Like East Indian.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had somebody think I was Chinese.
Okay, that's no.
When I was a kid.
Stop the okay. I was like,
when I was a kid.
Stop the cap.
Yeah, so. Yeah.
Is that the last one?
That was the last one.
All
so
right.
that's the segment for he's a 10 or she's a 10. So now we're going to do our 3 questions of the week, which are going to pertain to relationships. So can I start?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'll start with my first question, then you can switch. So my first question for you is, what do you think guys are always misjudged for while in a relationship?
I think the easiest one is not caring too much. Guys care in different ways. Everyone's got to realize that. Men in relationships, again, it's not that there are levels where you can obviously say this guy doesn't care at all, but what women think looks like caring is not the same thing as what guys.
So
think
explain
caring
it.
is.
What is? You gotta unfold the mysteries.
Okay, first of all, when it comes to, let me think of an example. When it comes to like gifts and stuff, right? When a guy gives a gift that's like something that they bought, they think it's the same level of effort and caring as a gift that's like handmade or something. So you see what I'm saying? Like the material part of the gift is as much meaningful to them. They think it's as much meaningful to you as it is to them. Does that make sense?
Not
like
really.
If a guy buys you like a phone, or not a phone, that's a lot. That's a lot. But if a guy buys you like some kind of gift worth $50 or something, but doesn't give you a card along with it, some girls would be like, no card, he doesn't care at all about me. What?
Okay, but
yeah,
no, No.
What do you mean?
I think cards are so important. It's so easy to go to a store and be like, tap your card, be like, all right, here's a gift, put it in a bag, and that's it.
No, but that's what I'm trying to say. Is that you think, like you're saying it's easy, it's important, and it is in your perspective, but a lot of guys don't see it like that.
So they think giving a material gift without a card or anything handmade is as caring as if somebody spent like a bunch of hours making something for the guy.
I wouldn't go as far as comparing, but they still think that because they put the time in, like they worked hard to make the money, they used the money to buy something, and they took the time to give it to you, like wrap it up or whatever. They think that's like a show of appreciation, a showing of caring.
Okay.
Maybe that's a bad example. What I'm trying to say is that there's different ways guys show that they care that girls don't always understand. And that's why guys get misjudged in relationships a lot.
And then they get into fights.
And it's bang, bang, bang. So you don't care about me, wah, wah, wah. I will say, I'll extend an olive branch. I think I should try to show that they care in the way that the girl actually appreciates it. Because it doesn't, even if the guy says like, I did this and this shows I care, if the girl doesn't think that it means something, then your gesture is pointless anyway.
Well, that's the whole point of like following each other's love languages, right?
Again, people don't know about that. So that's what I'm saying, that it's an olive branch. I think people should try to understand each other's love languages.
Yeah, because like if your definition of caring, if it doesn't match with the girls, then you have to follow the girl's definition. So it's clear
And
to
vice
them.
versa.
And then the girl has to follow the guys. I was getting to that. I was getting to it.
But I think that's the main thing. When it says misjudge, I think that's the main thing.
Okay.
How to show caring.
Interesting.
Don't go by my example. That's probably a bad example. But you get the point.
So if I buy something
No.
without a card,
Oh man, you know what I'm trying to
it's
say.
just as important. If somebody made something for me, yes, Bhavya,
No.
you're gonna go and buy like a Bath and Body Works shampoo, give it to someone, and if someone spends 5 hours making like a photo album, like it's the same value.
Bad example. You know what I mean. Bad example. You know what I mean.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay. Do you think people need to think about marriage when starting any relationship? Should casual dating ever be a thing? Why or why not?
I have very different values though. I think people
What do you think? Yeah.
My specific thing is I think people should be thinking about marriage when starting a relationship. I don't understand the concept of dating around just for fun. Like it's, first of all, you're wasting time of your time and the other person's time. You're also wasting feelings. What's the point of casually dating and then getting your heart broken and you're sitting and crying about it? Like if you're going into a relationship, you're going into it for a reason, right? But I also, for me specifically, I think I don't really agree with the concept of casual dating. I think when you're looking into dating someone, going on dates is a different thing, right? If you're going on dates with multiple people, that's okay. Like first time, whatever, second time dates. I learned it recently that going on dates and dating are two very separate things.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was the same thing. So if you're just going on dates with someone, that means you're going out for like dinner or movies and you're just trying to get to know the person. Whereas dating is where you're starting to make it like official. You're calling them your boyfriend or girlfriend. So dates is okay.
Mm-hmm.
To test the waters, you're dating a bunch of people, not at the same time, but like going on dates. Sorry, you're going on dates with a bunch of people and you're trying to find someone. But the actual concept of dating, I think that's where you should start thinking about marriage. Because if you're going to develop from going on dates to dating, then you're thinking, okay, this person has values that align with mine. I think it's time to officially start dating and give it a shot. Not let's start dating and whatever. Like it doesn't matter. That's my perspective. There's a lot of girls and guys out there that don't even want to get married in the first place. Like ever.
Mm-hmm.
So for them, then that's fine. But for me, it's like, I think you should be thinking about marriage right off the bat. What do you think?
I agree to an extent.
To an extent.
Because it depends on if you actually want to get married. So that's the extent.
Oh, okay. So I think, casual dating shouldn't be a thing. It's not a thing for me, but I can't speak for others, right? I can't be like, it should never be a thing for anybody. Make it illegal. Casual going on dates is okay. Casual dating just doesn't make sense to me.
That's fair.
My next question is, do you think there's a difference in the experience between a brown guy versus being a brown girl while in a relationship?
No, I think brown girls have it better actually. I, I was waiting for your reaction. There's definitely a difference as I've experienced. I think brown guys in general have a lot more leeway in terms of what they do in a relationship.
Do you genuinely think that, or are you just saying that because?
Well, that's what I've experienced.
Okay, yeah.
Like hearing all the stories from brown girls on relationships, it's like they got to tell the parents where they're going, how long they're going to be out for, when they're going to come back, and then like it's like a whole visa application every time when you want to go out. So in that sense, brown guys definitely don't have that same level of pressure. That's the main thing. Just there's more pressure on brown girls, and it might just be like a sexism thing where it's like they don't get trusted as much.
Yeah, like I think brown guys get like a nice pat on the back when they get a girlfriend. Yeah. And tell their parents, obviously at the right age.
Yeah.
Whereas girls, it's like you're not allowed to go twice in a row. Oh, like you can have fun 2 days in a row.
Yeah, that's haram.
But yeah, there is vastly different. There is a big difference in the experience.
I think that's the main difference, though, in terms of
strictness. Like you say,
yeah, strictness is the main difference. I don't see any other dimension where it's like vastly different
between a brown girl and brown guy in a relationship.
Yeah,
maybe like, is there any difference? Let's say both parties' parents are okay with it. Mm-hmm. Do those differences end there, or do you think there are still some differences that are there? I feel like there would be. It's
again the strictness. Even if both parents know about it and they're okay with it, I think the girls are still going to get treated a bit more harshly.
Yeah, I think the parents would always be paranoid. Like,
yeah, parentnoid.
Parentnoid. That's good. Wait. Say that again. Parentnoid.
Parentnoid.
We had to use that. That was good. But
I'm writing that one down. That was good.
But I mean, like, let me be like very blunt, right? It's like easy for a girl to get, not easy, but like a girl can get pregnant, not a guy.
Yeah.
So that's why I think there's a lot of big difference where the girl's parents are a bit more, even if they're okay with it, they're like, don't do anything dumb, don't get pregnant. The guy's not going to go home and be like, Mom, I got pregnant. I'm sorry, right? Like, that's the thing.
That is that's the fist. That's the hammer, right?
Yeah.
Once you get pregnant in a brown household, pregnancy was like.
Okay, but I feel like it's so common in Bollywood celebrities. I swear, what's it called? Alia Bhatt, for instance.
Yeah.
She got married to Ranbir Kapoor, and then just a few months later, like she had a baby. Like not that few months later, but whatever, enough so that when I did the math, I was like, hold on, right? I'm like, this is like you got pregnant negative marriage days, so that means you got pregnant before your marriage. So I wonder if she got pregnant before marriage and then they quickly did the marriage,
like a shotgun wedding.
Yeah,
that's what one of the big reasons for quick marriages,
So I think it's not even just her. Like I've heard this with other celebrities. So
you can make a Bollywood gossip channel.
This is becoming a Bollywood. You wish I had one episode where we're just gossiping about. You don't know enough about celebrity drama.
I know all the bad stuff.
You don't know the good stuff. Like you don't know, like there's rumors that Zendaya and Tom Holland got engaged.
I've seen a meme about that.
Me too.
That's how I know. Me too. But yeah, I think in terms of differences, strictness is number one, and because of pregnancy scares. Yeah.
Well, not just because pregnancy scares.
Main reason.
Imagine put yourself in a brown girl shoe. Imagine being home and your parents know about your relationship, and guys' parents know, and you're at home one day and you're genuinely just sick with food poisoning. You start throwing up. Imagine the panic. Your parents start going. Their brains go right to the worst thing possible. Not death. Pregnancy.
Pregnancy is worse than death.
It's not like my child's dying. Like,
of course, this is assuming you're young enough. Because if you're old, they want you to get pregnant as fast as possible.
Yeah, but I'm saying before marriage though. Before marriage though, you can be 30 and not married, and if you get pregnant, they'll be like, "What is going on?"
That's true. This is a complicated topic. There's like a whole flow chart we can make. It's like, are you this? If so, go to this section.
If yes, if no, get married. One leads to marriage immediately. Other leads to immediate death. It's either marriage or death. That's the only two solutions.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Or study.
Yeah.
Just go back to school.
100%. Okay.
Is it my turn? Okay.
Yep.
Question 2. What effect do your parents have on the way you perceive relationships?
Big effect. Huge.
Huge?
What's like a synonym? Enormous effect. For me, I feel like they affect growing up. They've affected my experience, my siblings, like our experiences about how relationships should be. Sometimes in a positive way, sometimes in a negative way.
Give me one example of each.
Okay. Positive. Let's start with a negative example. Like, I don't know. I think some parents right now are okay with, like, they're pretty good at, like, when parents fight, it's important to go fight privately and not keep your kids involved. So involved in the sense, like, don't tell them about it also, or just like don't fight in front of them. I think that's where my parents didn't do a great job. When we were younger, they would fight in front of us.
Yeah.
So I think that negatively impacted my experience with, or my opinion about relationships, because I think it puts a fear in your minds that, okay, you expect that when you go in a relationship, all relationships are like this, where you fight like, a dog and cat. Now, the problem is they would fight in front of us, but they would make up behind her. Like, no, not that way. Not that way. Like, they would like, stop. They would, can you stop? Stop.
Your word, I was trying to hold it back, but your word choice was just...
Make up. Make up.
And then you're going to say behind closed doors.
No.
Flip it.
Stop.
All right, go ahead.
They would solve their problems not in front of us.
Yes.
And I mean like verbally, okay? Like they would apologize to each other.
Yeah.
So that's a stop.
No, I'm listening.
So I think that's a big problem in my household, and I'm sure from my old friends and current friends, like I've heard their experiences, and a lot of people have gone through the same thing. They see their parents fight in front of their faces, but when they apologize, it doesn't happen in front of them. So we only see one side. So that's a negative thing. I think a positive experience that might have positively influenced my experience was I think like my dad used to give gifts. I mean, flowers to my mom, for instance, every Mother's Day, every anniversary. And just, I think another positive thing is they both treat each other's parents with respect. So that was a nice thing to see. Like there is some sort of connection in that sense. But I think my parents hugely affect my perception about relationships. And I think I've already said this story. It's like when I was young, my mom influenced my choice in who I want to like when I was young with the infamous BMW rule.
Yeah.
So BMW stands for Black, Muslim, and white. There was no Asians in here, so there was a loophole. I guess I didn't like catch on because I didn't have many Asian guys in my class growing up in elementary. Like never. So I remember when I was young, my mom used to she like burnt it into my mind. No BMWs, like absolutely no BMWs, and that impacted me so much that growing up, I could never look at either of those three groups, like guys from those groups, in like a way of like having a crush on them.
Yeah. Like
I would like look at them and I'm like they could be like the cutest guy ever, right? Cutest Gora, and I'll be like, man, like you're Gora though. So there's nothing. I'm like, you're like a brother to me now. So like all the Gore, Kale, and our Muslim bhais, they're all bhai jans for me. It was only the Indians where I was like, I was like, okay.
That's a big example of influence there.
Oh yeah. I think that lasted
like
long.
More than half the population.
I know. She limited my pool of options.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, it saves me trouble. Like, imagine me being with like a Gora right now, like explaining that to my parents. It'd be a little bit hard. But right, like it's good-ish. But no, yeah, that's an example how she like as a child, I was hardwired to make sure I don't like anybody outside of her culture.
I think that's going to change though. In the upcoming generations, I think that's already over.
Oh yeah, I think people should date outside of their cultures and have mixed babies
because they're cute.
Mixed babies are the cutest.
Mixed babies are cute babies.
They're very cute.
Yeah.
You know, mix those genes up and you have a really good looking cute baby, chubby. Bubby and I have seen a very cute mixed baby.
The cutest.
The cutest. We just recently had a conversation about this. What is your opinion about the idea of 50-50 in a relationship?
50-50, of course, meaning like financially, right?
Financially,
Work
effort wise. Yeah, everything.
Yeah, I agree with that. It depends on the effort type. When it comes to effort, I think we got to make a clear case there, because if I like doing yard work more, I'm not going to expect you to pick up a rake and start raking
You're like,
leaves.
I'm going to do 50% of the yard from this section to that section.
Yeah, no, like obviously not.
Get up and do that.
I think that the 50-50 refers more to like splitting up in a way that's fair, not equal. Equity instead of equality, right?
Good, yeah.
Bars. No, yeah. So in terms of work, 50-50 makes complete sense. Financially as well, it makes sense. Obviously, that doesn't mean you have to like be down the wire where it's like, oh, you spent $1 extra this month. You've gone overboard.
Okay, but like, no, let me bring in some specific examples, and you tell me. I'll do this. I'll give you a specific scenario, and you tell me, would you do 50-50 or would you pay?
Okay.
Okay, you're a first date with someone.
I'd pay.
You would pay?
Yeah.
Not split the bill?
No.
Okay. Let's say this is your long-term relationship with someone, and then you're out for dinner. Then what?
Well, it depends on whose turn it is to pay. At that point, we take in turns. Because I wouldn't want to do the thing where like we'll split the bill at the restaurant. Like one person should pay the bill. Because like it's just easy.
But it's not gonna be like one person pays a bill and you go home and you're like, all right, you transfer me the.
No, that's just too much work, man. Like law of large numbers. Over time, it'll equal itself out.
Yeah.
So in that sense, like it's more convenient if you do take turns, and you still get the 50-50 result eventually.
But what do you think about like the whole concept of let's talk about 50-50 in effort. Let's say you have like a week or like a day and you're just feeling so drained and you just can't put 50 and you have to put like 30% effort into the relationship or something. And the other person has to put 70, versus if it's vice versa and the other day like somebody else is feeling drained. Like, what do you think about that? Or do you think it should just stay 50-50? Just like pull up your pants. Pull up pants. Suck it up.
No, it's a law of large numbers. Law of large numbers again. There's going to be back and forths. Overall, it should be 50-50. Not just, let's get nerdy. The instantaneous distribution doesn't have to be 50 at all times. 50-50 at all times.
Look, I don't remember math.
The aggregate has to be 50-50.
I don't know what you're saying, man. It's all gone. Okay, I get your idea. I get your point, though. Okay.
I saw this meme of this one. It's probably staged, let's be honest. But this like lady was like sick and she was taking care of a baby, and then the guy gets home from work and he sees the wife like about to fall down. And he's like takes the baby from her, feeds the baby. The wife lies down. The guy makes dinner, and then the wife gets up and is like, "I feel better now." And then that's how they share the responsibility.
That's interesting you bring that up, because I feel like what happens is when people have kids, and if the guy's still working and the mom's on like maternity leave, the guy expects like, okay, you fully taking care of the baby. And like, what if the guy has like a really tiring day at work, but also the mom had a very tiring day at home? Who takes care of the baby?
The baby takes care of itself. Gotta learn. You think there's what, the free handouts here?
Just like leave the baby on the floor. Like, yo, we're tired, we're taking a nap.
Well, once we have the Tesla robot's going to take care of the baby.
Okay. Sounds good.
You know, that's a bit too much.
Okay. Next question.
Question 3. What do you think about live-in relationships? What would your parents say about it?
Oh, man. Can I start with my parents' opinion?
Of course.
Oh. If anybody bumps into my mom in public and wants to strike up a nice debate and conversation and really see her riled up, say the word live-in. Mm-hmm. Live-in. That's
I'm living the good life. What'd you say?
No, actually though, like, oh my god, the concept of living. It's so funny too.
Channel her.
No, like literally, It's like, I feel like, you know, anger from Inside Out. It's like, you say the word living, and the fire, like I can see it, right? Like figuratively. Oh, she hates the idea of live-in relationships. Okay. It's so bad that one time I was trying to find a Bollywood movie for us to watch, and I found this new one on Netflix. I think it was Netflix. And I put it on and I'm like, hey, let's watch this together. Like my mom and I. And I didn't read the plot. No, actually, I did. I won't lie. I did low-key read the plot and I saw it was about living, but I was like, whatever, like, let's see how it goes. And I start the movie, and like a little bit into the movie, my mom figures out what the whole idea of the movie is. The movie was trying to promote the idea of live-in relationships and that it's not a taboo thing. It's okay. Oh boy. She was like getting, like, she was like grabbing her hair the whole movie. She's like, I can't watch this anymore. I can't. And then, you know, like parents will watch like movies like that and they'll be like, is this what they're teaching nowadays generation? That's why our generations now are getting messed up. This is why the girls are getting messed
It's
up.
all about the girls.
Right? Like, this is what they're teaching all the girls in India and the girls, like, you know, the newer generations. And that's why they're all becoming very thage. That's the word, thage.
Yeah.
I hate that. It's like thage. And I'm like, but I won't lie. I put that movie on just for the purpose of entertainment because I wanted to see her reaction.
2 levels of entertainment.
I can't speak for my dad. I don't know. I think he's also against it. But my mom is just like a whole new level against it. So I had this guy friend. I can talk about this 'cause I really don't care. He hears this.
Yeah.
I had this guy friend a few years ago, and he was in a live-in relationship with his girlfriend. So originally they were not in a live-in, but then they started living together. I remember I was in the car and I was talking to my mom when she picked me up, and I was talking about him and his girlfriend, and I think I let it slip, and I said something about them being in the same apartment together. She was like, why are they in the same apartment? And she used to like this guy before. Like, she actually liked him.
Yeah.
So I was like, why? She's like, why are they in the same apartment together? And I was like, oh, she moved in with him. She's like, and they're boyfriend, girlfriend? And I'm like, yeah. And oh my God, the opinion of my mom of that guy just instantly, like the light switched.
I knew he was no good.
And she was like, oh my God, how can they be like this? And she was just like, you remember this.
Yeah.
I told you. She just hated him after that. And every time I tell her a story about him irritating me, she's like, I know. She's like, I could see. I'm like, she's like, he's always like, he probably was always like this.
Like those people always are like that.
Yes. That was funny. That's my mom's idea of living. Perception. You know what's interesting?
Wait, hold on. What about you?
Well, I'll get there. It's just my mom's perspective is so funny, and it affects my perception, right? What's funny is though recently there was a moment where I was like talking to her and something about living came up. No, it was that movie we were watching. So she was getting irritated with it.
Look at Chuppy.
Was it Look at? Yeah, it was Look at Chuppy. Yeah. And then I was like, should I turn off the movie if it's bothering you so much? I told her, and she was like, no, keep it on. I'll watch it. And I think like a while after that, we were talking about living relationships. She was like, yeah, I understand like the idea of it, right? Like, you learn your partner's habits beforehand. Like, what if your partner has a disgusting habit that you can't live with? And then if you get married with them, you're stuck with them. I was like, who are you? And what have you done with my mother? I was like, what happened to the mother that was absolutely against living? But my perspective about living is, I think for me, I wouldn't do it.
Just because your mom would kill you?
Yeah.
Like,
but also, like, I'm not like completely against the idea. Like, if I heard somebody was doing a live-in, I wouldn't react that way and hate them. It's their life. Also, I understand the point of it. Like, the whole idea of, you know, living in together and learning each other's quirks. I think live-in would be okay, but as long as both people don't take it too far. We just saw like Salam Namaste, right? Like, that was just like,
just say it.
They took it too far. Like, she got pregnant.
Yeah.
She got pregnant.
Let's go.
So that's like a good example of live-in going too far. But I think like live-in where both people are mature enough to know their like limits and like they shouldn't take it too far. If it's just for the purpose of learning each other's like everyday habits and making sure you're compatible, that's okay. But otherwise, like, not really. It's not a big thing for me.
Forget the habit stuff. At this point, you gotta have 2 people in a house just to afford it.
Yeah.
Like, you gotta consider that economically, live-in might be the way to go.
So you're supportive of a live-in?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Crazy. You should talk to my mom.
If I talked to her, I'd want to record that conversation because it would get wild.
That would go
It
viral.
would go wild. There would be yelling.
There would be yelling. Yeah, there would be yelling.
Well, also I know a lot of people that are living in with their girlfriends and boyfriends, right?
Oh, yeah. Are they Indian though?
No.
Exactly. And other than the guy I know, tell me another name. Not name, but tell me if you know any Indian people you know that are in living relationships.
Sanjay?
You just name drop someone.
There's going to be a Sanjay out there somewhere.
Oh wait, you don't even know a Sanjay. I know you don't know a Sanjay.
He's out there somewhere, and he's living in right now.
Sanjay, if you're watching this right now or listening to this right now,
leave a comment.
Yeah, we know you're in a live-in.
Shame on you.
We're about to go tell your mom and dad, and the girl's mom and dad. Some people do that. They actually
They snitch.
They snitch.
Yeah.
On social media, I heard that there's somebody who like posted this. I don't know this person, but somebody posted this video of them in a live-in, and some wild girl went and stalked her, found her mom, and then sent her mom that video.
Whoa.
And I saw this, and I was like, that's crazy.
That's hating to another level.
Yeah, that person should be jailed.
Yeah.
Like, come on. Okay.
Leave the TikToks on TikToks. Why you got to bring it to court, you know?
So we can bring our backup segment a little bit. We can squeeze it in.
Were those 3 questions already?
Yep.
Wow. Okay. Sure. Let's squeeze it in.
So this is not like a question. I mean, it's not a question. It's just a concept that we just discuss. It's the something that's an issue, prevalent issue right now in our society, especially among, I think not just kind of in the DESI area, but also just in general, is how bad the dating pool is right now.
We should probably preface it that this is from stories we've heard.
Yeah, like we got a couple friends, single.
And good people. Good people.
Yeah.
Like it's not their fault.
Yeah.
I mean, might be a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's not their fault.
Well, yeah.
The point is, it's kind of like the housing market.
They're gonna watch this and they're gonna be like, "Oh wow."
No, they're dimes. Like they're tens.
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
You're gonna.
I said right when we hit 100 followers, we're gonna bring one of those friends onto the podcast.
Wait, do you want to expose him right now?
No. We're not gonna name drop, but he knows who he is.
Yeah. And he is a dime. He's a 10 out of 10.
But in general, actually, I know a lot of girls too who are single, and it's just an issue. So the dating pool is pretty bad. Why don't you tell us a little bit about what you heard from our male friend, and I'll tell you what I've heard from my female friends.
Okay, first we've got to talk about logistics, because the way you make connections is by actually meeting people. Online, I don't want to get into that right now, because online is like people are meeting each other more and more online, but I don't have experience with that.
Like dating apps or like Instagram?
Like dating apps. Maybe the DMs, I don't know. Do I sound like I'm young yet? Because I'm like...
Maybe the DMs.
Maybe the DMs.
Maybe the DMs.
Maybe that, yeah. The point is, I think the best way to meet someone is like through an actual common meeting spot. Like a lot of school, right?
Also
a lot
like
of people. Mutuals. Yeah, but like in physical, they actually have heard of the person.
They have to be physically there.
They got to be, yes.
Yeah.
So the problem that I think a lot of people are facing now is that there's not many places to physically meet anymore, especially after COVID. There's no like third spaces that people generally go to and meet other people naturally.
So Bubby and I were talking about this. I was telling Bubby how I saw a TikTok that in Calgary there is this group. I don't know what their name is. I gotta find them. But there is this event planning group or something, and they host like monthly get-togethers where they invite people from the brown community, and it's pretty much like you're speed dating. So you meet at like a restaurant. I don't think it's a bar because that's not really the best place. I think I saw a video and I saw tables and chairs and all that, and they basically meet and there are videos and there's like guys and girls talking to each other. And we were talking about how that'd be such a cool idea to bring to Edmonton, because I was reading the comments and there was like a person being like, "Hey, can you bring it to Edmonton?" So someone should bring that. Maybe we'll be the ones to bring it. I think it'd be pretty fun. We'll start small and
see if it gets any better.
Yeah, because like we want to play Cupid. we want to what is it called? Matchmake. I want to be Edmonton's new Seema auntie. I think I'll do a good job.
I think you're already kind of playing that role to an extent.
No, but not Edmonton's. I'm being our one friend Seema auntie right now.
That's better.
And then every time I see a girl, I'm trying to set them together. So to an extent, I'm a Simanti, but like Edmonton Simanti would be a fun job.
That would be cool.
And then I'll have to have like a contract with fine print, me saying that I'm not liable for any consequences. But continue. I agree. Like there's no physical place.
Yeah, because it's either for us, it was like there was school, there was university, there was if you can't really meet people at your job. That's kind of like taboo.
You can.
I mean, but like you can't like pursue people at your job.
I think you can. Like I know in dental school, I've met 2 people who've found their boyfriends from work.
Like while they were actually working and making money?
Yeah. In one situation, they were coworkers, so they became partners. And then in another situation, I think the girl was working and the guy came as a customer.
Oh.
And it was such a cute story, but their love story started there. So
I guess what I was referring to was more like if you're in like a office job or something, you can't be like harassing your coworkers and trying to, get with coworkers, because then that's just like an HR problem waiting to happen.
I disagree.
You think so?
I think it's like, okay, if there was like a power dynamic, maybe not. Like if a boss is pursuing an employee.
Yeah.
But if it's like 2 coworkers in an office job, like why not? Like if it's consensual, you're making it sound like as if a guy's just like prying on it. But if a guy's trying to like hit on her and she makes it clear that she doesn't want to be hit on, then they stop. But like let's say like, the girl thinks he's cute and they start pursuing each other. I think that's fine.
That's fair, yeah. I'm just saying in terms of like sometimes they do get together and then they, break up and that work is awkward for eternity afterwards.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
Like it's a high risk, high reward.
That's like dental school. That's why they tell us don't date in dental school within your class. Because somebody gave this advice to me and I was like, no need. But they were like, just don't date anyone in your class because it's a small class of, we start with 32, now it's 52. Mm-hmm. Imagine 4 years and then first year you date someone, break up with them, and then you're stuck.
For 4 years.
4 years in a small class with them.
Yeah.
And you got to act professional. Buddy, if that was me, professionalism out the window.
Yeah. I'm
like, switch partners. I don't want this guy.
I think, that's the main problem I see with the dating thing. So
just like no physical location.
Yeah. No like organic ways to interact.
You know what I think the problem is?
What?
I think the problem is people are too picky.
Interesting. Go on
like
that.
Way too picky. Like it's crazy. I feel like this is where I kind of agree with parents. Like there needs to be some level of compromise. You're not gonna find. You could. Now I actually sound like Simanti. Wait a sec. Hold on. There's like an episode where she says this. She's like, you're not gonna find everything you want. No, you can. But like if somebody might find a guy like that they think is nice, but then they have that one quality not in them. It's like, like sometimes you just gotta see what you're working with. I think if you get too picky,
see what you're working with. Like in this lab of meat.
No, I think if they're too picky, like for instance, I'm saying from a girl's perspective, a lot of the single girls I know, or my previous like female friends, there's like this trend where they have, if they're single, they will have like our notes on their notes page. They'll have a list. Have you heard of this?
I think you told me about this.
Yeah, they'll have a list of everything they want in their dream guy. Like a full list. So like one thing if you need to know about girls, if you don't know it, is that in their notes app, I don't have either of these, by the way. Not all girls, so some. In their notes app, they'll have one note page that has every quality they want in a guy, right? There was like a trend where people started writing red flags on another notes page. Like if the guy has any of these red flags. There's a TikTok reel, I remember, a long time ago.
TikTok reel.
Wow.
Did you see it on Facebook?
Why are you insulting me like this?
You keep, because the reason why is because you always call me a brown uncle, and then you say stuff like TikTok reel.
That was actually pretty good. Anyways, there was a TikTok video, and it was funny because it was like this girl was screen recording and she was scrolling through her notes app of all the red flags of a guy, and then all these guys started commenting, and I've never found anything more entertaining to read through. And the guy was like, should we not breathe? And I was like, it was like she was scrolling and I'm like, that's crazy, that's a little too much.
How many, like 50 red flags?
It was like hundreds.
Yeah,
it was crazy. So
process of elimination at that
They'll
point.
have one page with their what they want, one page of red flags, and then usually those girls also have a page in their notes app with all their future baby names.
Baby name.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing. So I think people are picky, not just girls though, guys too, right? I've tried matching our friends with girls. Either the girl will be picky and be like, he got all that, but he brown. I'm like, you're brown too. But that's fine though. I think when it comes to color, that's okay. But
when it comes to race, you should be racist if you want.
No. That was just
She
a
said
funny.
it first.
That was just a very recent example. That's why it came to my head. It was funny because everything seemed so perfect, and then that last thing just kind of was like, oh man, we're so close. But guys and girls are both like really picky. Like, you know, like our guy friend, like looks is so important to him, and I'm like, buddy, personality though. Right? You thought I was gonna say something else.
I was waiting. I was like, is she gonna say it? Is she gonna say it?
I was gonna insult him. He kind of read my mind. I was getting there. I'm like, no. So, even like girls, I think what's the problem is guys are looking way too much into the looks. Girls are looking way too much into like everything else. Personality. If you're like picky about personality, like if the girl's like, I don't want a guy with ego, I'm not gonna be like, suck it up. He has everything and ego. So just deal with it. No. But I think pickiness is a big thing. And then the same thing, like location. And also the way guys try to approach girls are just messed up.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Let me hear it.
Let's hear it. Like for instance, guys try to approach girls through their DMs, right? Through their messages, Facebook message.
They're getting better though.
Yeah, like I have a few stories.
Yeah.
Are you gonna go through them?
Go through like one of the more interesting ones.
I'll go through. I have a few interesting ones.
Go ahead.
Okay, so you probably remember some of them, so I might forget. So one was like a guy DM'd me on Instagram, and it was like an emoji. I think it was an emoji of like a soccer ball in the DM, and then he made like a story. There's a soccer ball, and then his dog walked in, like an emoji dog, and he made it like go in steps or whatever, and he wrote, oops, what was it? Like, oops, my ball rolled into your DMs.
And then
my dog went to
over to
grab, to get it or something.
I'm here for my dog.
Yeah, I'm here for my dog. And I'm like, okay. Thumbs up.
But he went into like the thing after that, so it was a good entrance.
Yeah.
Entry 8 out of 10.
Sometimes, yeah, exactly. I feel like sometimes those DMs, they're entertaining for me because I want to see like, what's the effort level?
What's that right now? What's the bar right now?
Right now, I think like a 0 out of 10 is when a guy sends a message and he writes, hi.
Oh, there's worse than that.
Oh, thumbs up. Facebook, those the Indian guys from whatever, like the older Indian guys who are trying to hit on younger Indian girls, they're just going to message you on Facebook and put a thumbs up. Like, what do you expect? The girls are going to be like, wow. A thumbs up?
Approval?
Like that's already yelling brown dad. Like, well, what did you expect? What else is there? I've had I think the way guys approach DMs, this is important. I think this is very important. Because guys are I think now in this generation, guys are mostly trying to talk to a girl through DMs, and some of them might be genuine.
Yeah.
But they just don't know how do I DM a girl without seeming creepy.
Exactly.
I think hi is just not enough.
No.
How are you? I want friendship. Friendship. I want friendship. I think the way some guys have been successful in DMing me, like in getting a response until they got creepy and then I stop responding, is by asking me questions about my dance.
Like just genuinely
curious about my dance, right?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm giving ideas here.
I think you're gonna I think I can get more DMs nowadays.
Sorry. Okay, in general, I mean, like,
Some are going for me. I'm gonna just.
Okay, but like, and I'm saying like those are like smarter ways to like get somebody to reply and then strike up a conversation. What else have I had? Oh yeah, that guy who messaged me on Facebook and he was like, "Can I send you a meme?" No. Can you imagine if I responded? Although they were just sending in my message request, but imagine if I just wrote no.
Oh, you didn't actually write that?
I know I didn't.
Oh, you just ignored it?
In my brain, I said it. Because the problem is once you start responding, then they start initiating stuff, right?
Yeah.
So,
I think the DM strategy is kind of flawed from the start.
If you had to send a DM to someone you were genuinely interested in, right?
Yeah.
Like, what would you say? Would you just go hi?
No, there's no way. Like you'd have to actually, first of all, actually have to care about the person and know what they're actually up to. Because if you just look at the picture of them and like this person looks nice, let me try getting some of that. That's not the right way to start off a relationship. You actually have to like know the person. And like for example, like you said, if they do like dance or something, or if they're passionate about coffee or something, like you gotta. I'm not gonna say stalk them, but you gotta know something about them, or like try to know something about them
You get
first.
to know them, but you know them by stalking them.
Exactly.
You just gotta turn to Joe from You. You haven't seen it, where he just stands with his cap and he's watching their daily routine, and then he starts incorporating himself into it as a coincidence.
That's the problem with like online stuff. Is like anything that you do to get more information is going to be considered stalking, which is why I want like the more physical meeting up.
Yeah,
because then you can just ask them. It's like, hey, what do you do for fun? What do you like? What are you passionate
I think
about?
what's a good idea is like, kind of like we had this experience where you're with your friends, but somebody sees somebody online interested in them. They find out if they know a mutual or somebody who might know them. Then you kind of try it. You know, making that connection.
Right. It's like go for the best friend strategy.
Kind of.
Yeah.
But like, you know, like rather than just. But I've heard some successful DM stories, so it's good. I think I've had it. Whatever. I've had entertaining ones. I think no guy should proclaim their love for someone after a week of not hearing back from their original DM being like, but I love you. Oh man, there was I can expose this person because this was getting scary. But there was this one, you know, there's like sometimes those Edmonton Punjabi pages, like those public pages. There was somebody who DM'd me from the Edmonton Punjabi page, and for some reason their DM didn't go into my request. It came into my regular. So when I opened it, it said I read the message, right? So I read the message and I just left them on read. And this person started like spamming me for a few days. And they were getting aggressive. I remember, I think I told you this.
Yeah.
They're getting really aggressive and they're like, why aren't you responding to me? Blah, 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 blah. It was to the point where I'm like, I fully like blocked them, restricted them. And then they made from their personal account, they started DMing me. And then I blocked them there too. So don't be that person.
Yeah, that's just creepy.
That's just creepy.
Creepy and distressing.
Yeah. But yeah, dating pool is bad. Hopefully it gets better.
I don't know about better. I think you just got to
put more effort. You know, people just need to put effort. They actually need to like be open to going on a date rather than being like, he does not fit number 46 out of 50 of my list.
Hail.
Done.
I also want to make sure we don't end up like preaching to the choir. Is that the phrase where it's like, we're not invested in this right now anyways, so we can't be giving too much advice because we're not living the reality. So if anybody's out there that's actually living this reality, I think you guys have some better perspectives on this anyway, so leave a comment about that.
And stay tuned. We'll have a Gup Shup event. Maybe. That'd be a cool, calling it a Gup Shup event would be kind of...
Actually, maybe not a Gup Shup, because I think, what are we doing?
You're
like,
Gup Shupping with people.
Yeah.
Right? Chai and Gup Shup.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You know, you can make tea for everyone. And people can sit and mingle.
And then just make new connections.
That'd be kind of fun. I won't lie.
Gup Shup and a cup?
Gup Shup and... Oh, that's a nice one.
Don't steal that, please. I'm on fire today.
We should ask if anybody actually wants that to happen. They should tell us.
Because we can easily arrange that. It's
I have my good share of event organizing experience.
Yeah.
And you have your experience in making promotional materials.
Yeah.
So I think we can do that. I think that concludes our episode about relationships in brown households and just the DESI perspective about relationships. And now that we're back on doing episodes, we want to hear everyone's experiences.
Yes.
And we'll have part 2s to a lot of these episodes. So.
And also any suggestions for future episodes, let us hear them. We need a way to end these podcasts off because right now I'm blank. I don't know how to end this. I don't want to just stop recording, but help me out here. And that's it.
I think that's good.
Okay.